Hey there, Hillary. How are you? When are you going to show me the footage from your wedding? Haven't you gotten back some of the photos and videos from there yet? Come on, I really want to see how things are going. Sorry, you want to see the wedding? I don't really understand. Well, I just mean that your wedding is a special day, and I'd love to see the photos that you had taken there is all. There must be so many happy memories already, right? I'm sorry, but I think that you were the only one having fun. I mean, I really kind of wanted to know just what you were thinking. What do you mean? Did I do something wrong? I promise that I really have no idea at all about what you could be talking about. Are you telling me that I might have done something to spoil the mood of your wedding or something? You know what you did, Gretchen. You showed up to my wedding dressed up like you were ready to go to a funeral. You scared my grandma so much she actually fainted when she saw you. Oh, well, I really am so sorry for the mix-up. It's just that those clothes were the only dress clothes that I owned. I really don't think that's true. I think that you did that on purpose, but I don't get why. I think you might have done it just because you wanted to try and ruin my wedding. Oh, you mean it really was that obvious for you to figure out? Well, it really didn't take all that much to understand, thank you very much. And just what's wrong with me showing up to your wedding in funeral garb anyways, huh? Your wedding was so depressing, it might as well have been a funeral. But why would you do this to me? Do you really have such huge problems with me that you have to do this? I already told you that I don't approve of you marrying my son. You know exactly how I feel about you. My son deserves a much better, prettier, smarter woman in his life. Not some selfish little brat like you. You aren't nearly good enough for him. Well, I'm sorry, but Robert chose me because he loves me. I don't think that you get to decide who's right for him. There you go again, talking back to me and forgetting your place. You really are a spoiled brat, do you know that? Are you really saying that when you were the one who tried to ruin my wedding all because you have a problem with me? Because it wasn't just my family that you shocked, even your own relatives were appalled at your behavior. What? You mean that they didn't think that it was as hilarious as I did? No, I don't think a single person at my wedding thought that what you did was funny at all, actually. Well, it doesn't really matter, but what does matter is that I'm your mother-in-law and you need to listen to me. My first order for you is to break up with my son and stay away from him forever. I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. There isn't anything in the world that could break Robert and I apart. I see. Well, if this is the way that you want to do things, then I suppose you leave me with no choice. What are you talking about? What horrible plot do you have up your sleeve next, huh? Oh, nothing yet. But I'll just have to come up with something even more shocking and horrible. Something so incredible that it'll force you to run away and never come back. If you don't want to tell me what the problem it is that you have with me, that's fine. But just stay out of my relationship with my husband. You know, this is why I say that women just shouldn't go to college. You get one little degree and all of a sudden you think you know better than everyone else. Women like you get so prideful and then refuse to take no for an answer, even when it's their elders telling them. And that's the excuse you have for why you tried to sabotage my wedding with that little stunt that you pulled? Well, if no one else had as much fun as I did, that's their fault, not mine. I really just don't even know what to say to that. I mean, do you really not care that you were the only one laughing at my wedding? That's not true. There's a group photo that we had taken where everyone is smiling, don't you remember? I told you that there would be lots of photos to remember your special day. Oh, trust me, I won't ever forget this. Hey there, Hillary. Are you there? Do you have a moment to chat really quickly? I just wanted to make sure that you knew that next month was my birthday. Oh, really? I I had no idea about that. Are you serious? Is that supposed to be some kind of a joke? Are you really telling me that you didn't even know your own mother-in-law's birthday? Well, I suppose I just never really even bothered to ask about when it was, so... I mean, do you have any idea when my birthday is? Of course I don't know when your birthday is. Why would I waste the precious space in my head with something like that? I don't care at all when you were born, and it doesn't matter to me in the slightest. But the fact is that I'm your mother-in-law, and you really ought to know this sort of thing about me. I see. Well, okay then, thanks for letting me know that, I suppose. You really are such a useless daughter-in-law. Do you know that? I mean, you really should have gone and looked this up yourself. I shouldn't be the one having to tell you all of this. I really am sorry for the confusion. I promise that I won't let it happen again, Gretchen. Is there anything that you would like to do for your birthday? Any plans that I can put into motion for you? Actually, yes, I have a whole list of things that I would like you to get ready for me, if you must know. And since it's my birthday, you should know that if even one little thing goes wrong, I'm going to blame it all on you for ruining my special day. I'll be sure to bear that in mind. Thank you for the warning. Do you mind if I ask who you were thinking of inviting to this? Well, I want to have my party on a Sunday, and you're to invite all of my relatives here. We're going to have enough food for everyone, plus a giant cake. So make sure that you have all that ready beforehand. I'm sorry, are you telling me that I'm going to have to put all of this together myself? Well, of course you are, unless you have a problem with that. If you really hate the idea of celebrating your mother-in-law's birthday that much, you can just say so. It's not that at all. I'll be sure to get everything ready in advance of the party. That's all that you should have said from the very start. Honestly, when are you going to learn? Again, I'm so sorry for not knowing better. May I ask what kind of food you wanted to have ready for the party? I was thinking of really going all out with the food. I want huge fillets of fish, premium cuts of steak, a cake from the nicest bakery in town, and anything else amazing that you can think of. Not only that, but I want to drive to all the farms in the state and figure out which have the best berries so that we can all eat those with imported gelato. Gretchen, this sounds like it's going to be a very expensive party. If you really want all that food and enough for everybody, you're going to need hundreds of dollars. Oh yes, I have the budget, and it's sitting just comfortably under $1,000, actually. But anyways, it's fine, because you're going to buy it all for me. Hold on a second, you're telling me that I'm going to have to be paying for all of this? Well, of course you are. After all, it's my birthday. You don't really expect the birthday girl to pay for her own party, do you? I'm sorry, but even if I could afford to, I really don't see how all of this is going to be less than $1,000 now that I'm adding it all up. How about you just think of it as a present for me? Does that make you feel better about it? Also, speaking of presents, make sure to go out and get me a really nice purse, too. You want me to buy you a purse on top of all of this? And just what kind of purse were you hoping to get? Well, I'm not going to accept anything less than $5,000, do you understand me? So you want me to spend another $5,000 on you, on top of all the party preparations? I really don't think that I'm going to be able to do that. I think I'll only be able to pitch in to buy the food for you. Oh, please, I know that you work for a really big company. Surely you must get paid quite nicely as well, right? I don't see why you would have any issue with spending $10,000 on a party for me. Well, I'm sorry that you don't see any problem with it, but I'm telling you that I have some major ones. What, you mean like being a no-good cheapskate? Are you really trying to ruin my birthday party so far in advance of when it is? I'm not trying to ruin anything for you at all, and I don't think that's a fair statement. I'm just saying that I won't be able to spend that much of my own money on your party. We're still recovering from the wedding and the move. I just can't afford another huge purchase like those right now. Oh, why don't you just come out and tell me the truth, huh? Why don't you just say that you don't want to do this for me because you hate me? Just admit that you're a cheap woman who hates her mother-in-law and would do anything to see her unhappy. You are really not being fair to me at all. But if you want me to help, then we are going to have to downsize your budget. And that includes settling for a cheaper purse as a present, okay? No, that isn't fair! If it's not a $5,000 purse, then I don't even want to have to look at it. If you keep trying to shoot me down like this, then I'm going to force you to break up with my son. You can't really think that you'd be able to break up Robert and I, right? You think I can't? I'll do whatever I needed to do to make sure that you two break up and never get back together. Unless you listen to me and do exactly as I say, that is. So why don't you go be a good daughter-in-law and just tell me what I want to hear? You really want to have that huge of a party then, do you? Well, okay then, it seems like you're really leaving me with no choice. But if we're going to do this, let's just have the party at someone's house, okay? Are you kidding me? You really are just trying to cut all the corners you can, aren't you? I don't want to have the party at someone's house. I want to go out to an amazing restaurant or rent out a ballroom. I am telling you that that is just not going to be feasible with how much money you're already wanting to spend on this. Can we please just have the party at your house? I know that you have plenty of room to host the crowd that you're hoping to have. Well then, fine. If you're saying that is what I have to do to have the rest of the party go smoothly, then I guess I can let this happen. But you should know that you're going to be in charge of cleaning everything up once it's all over. Got it? It's my party and I shouldn't be expected to have to do even an ounce of work for it. Oh, of course not. I would hate for you to get your hands dirty with your own party. You won't have to do a single thing. Perfect! Oh, I really just can't wait. This is going to be the best birthday party ever! Gretchen, can I ask why you thought it was appropriate to kick me out of your house? I went through all the trouble of getting everything ready for your party just as you asked me to. The least you could do is let me come back inside and enjoy it with everyone who's there. Are you crazy? You really think that I'm just going to let you into my house? This is my birthday party and you had the gall to show up dressed for a funeral. What is the matter with you, huh? I don't understand. Is there something weird about wearing funeral clothing to your birthday party? Of course there's something weird about it. This is a happy occasion. You should be wearing bright colors, not trying to bring the whole mood down. Well, I'm terribly sorry, but this was the only nice outfit that I could find when I got dressed this morning. I brought it over from my house to change into after I finished getting the food ready. You mean that you already showed up to my house in a different outfit and you changed into that on purpose? Why didn't you just stick to the clothes you were wearing? You have noticed that I'm not the only one to dress up like this, though, haven't you? I mean, don't you realize that everyone at the party is dressed as if they're going to a funeral? What in the world are you talking about? You mean that everyone is dressed just like you were? That's right. All your family is here in the hot, hot weather dressed in all black just to help you celebrate your birthday. But I don't get it. Why in the world is everyone dressed like that? What are they thinking? What in the world is going on here? I suppose that everyone else in your family only had one nice outfit to come in, just like me. And just like you, at my wedding. You should be grateful that everyone cared enough to come dressed up for you, though. Oh, come on, that's just ridiculous. Are you telling me that this is really just to get back at me for the way I was dressed at your wedding? I'm sure that I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. Give me a break. I know that you must have told everyone to come dressed up like this. Do they even realize this is all just part of a petty revenge plot? I'd be more worried about what you're going to do with all these people about to show up dressed just like me. Anyone who dares to show up to my party dressed like they're ready for a funeral is going to be turned away at the door. Well, then I suppose that means you're going to have a very lonely birthday party. Do you really hate all the black that much? You seemed to be having a blast dressed up like that for my wedding, remember? But this is my birthday. It's different. Today's supposed to be all about me. Don't you get it? Of course I do. That's why I invited everyone to come here just like you wanted. And I followed all your instructions about all the expensive food that you wanted me to get ready for your party. There's the fish, steak, fruit, and cake. It's all there just like you asked for. But I didn't ask for anyone to show up to my birthday party dressed like someone just died. This is supposed to be a day to celebrate me being alive. This is like the exact opposite. It's like everyone is just here to celebrate my dying. Well, that sounds to me like you have just a bit of an overactive imagination. I don't know if it's really all that bad. I mean, you do realize that everyone is here for your birthday, right? I thought that you'd be more excited to celebrate with everyone. Just admit it! Admit that this was all a plan that you came up with! Who's to say, really? Maybe we all just had the same idea and decided to come dressed like this. I don't believe this. This is just your way of saying that you wish I had never ever been born. You're horrible. How could you try and treat me like this on my own birthday? I didn't say anything like that in the slightest. Besides, if you weren't born, then I would have never met my husband. So I'm sorry, but I think that you're just projecting your own insecurities over this whole thing. How am I projecting anything when everyone is literally here dressed up as if someone has died? I just don't get why they would all do this to me. I suppose your family just knows how to play the long game. After all, no one went up to you and said anything when you showed up to my wedding dressed for a funeral. But it's only because we all knew that we'd have to get back at you another time. But this isn't fair! How was I supposed to know that what I was doing was wrong if no one told me to begin with? And either way, you still haven't excused yourself from being to blame for this. But I know that if I started crying and talking to people that they'd all go and change for me. Are you sure about that? I'm sure that there are some people in your family you could scare into doing that. But it certainly wouldn't be because everyone there respects you or anything like that. I knew that I should have never let my son marry you. It was a mistake ever letting you into my family. I should have kicked you to the curb the second I met you. Do you really dislike me that much, Gretchen? Am I really that awful to deal with? Because you should have known that I wasn't taking your crap because I'm weak. I just have more patience than you is all. So you admit it. You finally admit that you were the mastermind behind this whole plot to totally ruin my wedding. You might think that you've done something here, but you haven't done anything. I've known some of these people for over 30 years. No one from my family is ever going to betray me. Are you sure about that? Because we're all gathered outside here, so why don't you try getting people to change their clothes? I'm sure if you screamed at enough of them, they would go and put on normal clothes to help you celebrate. Well, maybe that is what I'll do. You give me just 1 second and I'll set this whole thing straight right away. We're all out here waiting. See you soon. Are you still getting ready to come out and talk to us? You do realize that all the food is outside, right? The only thing missing from the party now is you. I don't want to go outside, and I don't want to see any one of you ever again. Aw, what's the matter? I thought that you were getting ready to put us all in our place, no? Because we're still out here, dressed in all black for your birthday. Nobody listened to me. I tried texting people, I even tried dragging people inside to yell at them one by one, but no one was listening to a word that I had to say. Wow, well then I guess we really are doing something closer to a funeral than a birthday. But it isn't a funeral, and it is my birthday! This is ridiculous! How could you all do this to me? Well, it's only a funeral if the person we're all here to celebrate isn't here. If you came outside, though, it would be much more like a birthday, you know. You must think that you're just so funny for doing this, don't you? Well, I'm sick of this game. I just want everyone to go home already. I'm sorry, but you invited us all here for the party, and we're not going to go until it's over. Besides, there's still so much food to be eaten. And you think I'm going to come outside and help you eat? You You think I have anything remotely close to an appetite right now? But I worked so hard to make sure that all the food that you wanted was here. And everyone is outside having a good time chatting. Someone even brought a boombox and is playing music. I hate my family for doing this. How could they all stab me in the back like this? Even my son is out there dressed in all black. Why did everyone come dressed up like that? It's because when you showed up to my wedding dressed for a funeral, you weren't just insulting me. You were insulting your son. And people did try to warn you and ask you to change. You were just too busy gloating to notice. But you told me that you were plotting this for so long. My whole family was preparing for this behind my back. Well, you should come outside now, because this might be the last time you see some of these people. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a party to get back to. After that, people stopped inviting Gretchen to family gatherings. And nobody missed her at all when she wasn't there. Gretchen tried many ways to try and earn the trust of her family again, but it only ended in remonstrations from them as she tried to sneak into events. In the end, she realized that nobody wanted to deal with her any longer. She stopped trying to talk with anyone and became a recluse, barely leaving her home. The rest of the family was happy to see her go after all the horrible things she had done to others in the past.
Naomi, you know there's family gathering next month. I'm wondering if you'll be there too. Hello, Karen. Yes, I would like to. All the relatives are coming this time, right? Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Something you can help with? Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think there is. You can just sit down and stay. It must be hard for you to move with that leg. It's okay. I know it looks like a lot of work, but I can do most things except running. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. I don't want my relatives to think I have a disabled person helping me. If you're coming, will you sit quietly and stay out of the way? Oh, okay. Understood. It's embarrassing enough that my only son's wife is disabled. I don't want to make it a show. I haven't accepted you as my son's wife yet. Tony insisted that he wouldn't marry anyone but you, so I had no choice but to agree to the marriage. Right. I was hoping to have a lovely wife so I could enjoy shopping or going to cafes and enjoying all those things. But I didn't think my son would choose a defective woman. He must have done something pretty bad in his previous life. I don't think you should speak like that. Tony is a very kind person, and we were both attracted to each other more on the inside than on the outside. Tony doesn't mind that I have one leg disabled. Being his mother, I know more than anyone that Tony's kind. Otherwise, he would never have chosen a woman like you. I'll do my best to try to be accepted by you, so that you can feel it's safe to leave Tony to me. What can a disabled person like you do? Don't joke around. I don't know how you walk inside the house, but you need a cane when you walk outside, right? That's true. You think someone who only moves like an elderly person can support Tony? What are you going to do if he becomes unable to work? Of course, I will support the family finances then. I'm still working from home, and I don't have any trouble with my daily life. I can't think like that, so that's why I'm worried. Well, it's too late to say anything about that now. It's not like your leg's gonna get better. I'm sorry. I don't want you to apologize. Oh, right. There's something I want to ask you. Yes, ma'am. What is it? I need you to weed the garden before they come. Okay, sure. You have a lawnmower, don't you? Should I use that to weed the garden? No, don't use it. The roots will still be in the ground, right? This time, I want you to take it up by the roots. So please, pull them out properly by hand. Oh, is it too difficult for you who has a damaged leg? No, I'm fine. I'll finish it before the day. I'm counting on you. Please, show me how useful you can be. Naomi, what have you done? Karen, hello. Is something wrong? It's about today's family gathering. You spoke about the weeds in the garden in front of the relatives, didn't you? Yes, but not about the weeding. I just mentioned it a little when they were talking about gardening. When I was weeding, you asked me to plant flowers, right? So I was explaining how to plant and grow those flowers. Where would I find someone who would say that you actually done it? What? What if they think I made a wife who has a bad leg to do the weeding on purpose? You're so dumb. Why don't you try to make me look good a little? I'm sorry, I wasn't that concerned, but it seems like they were just interested in the flowers. So I think they're not concerned about it. Who knows? Use your brain. Okay, I'm sorry. If you want my approval, it's your job to make me feel good. But all you do is make me feel worse. I think you're just trying to make me suffer. No, I didn't mean to. Then next time, tell them something I'll be praised about. The flowers in the garden were my idea, and you helped me because you wanted to. Is it clear? That's the way it should be. Understood. It seems like it wasn't just your leg that was bad. I have to explain from the beginning like this. Your brain is just as bad as your leg. Is this what it's like to be disabled? I wish you wouldn't discriminate like that. My leg is just disabled, but other than that, I'm no different than others like you. Even though you're treated differently from others? I think it's a bit harsh to say that. We don't like to be disabled either. Honestly, I have a problem with the fact that you are defective and living comfortably. You keep insisting that you're normal and that you're like everyone else. But in reality, you can't live without a help, can you? I think you should be more modest. Some may be arrogant, but most of us live our lives with gratitude. I don't know about that. Even a defective woman like you married a man like Tony. You're as happy as anyone else. From my point of view, you are an arrogant person. I believe that people with disabilities have the right to be happy too. Get rid of those kinds of shallow thoughts. A year has passed since you got married. But I have not had one good thing to say about my son being married to you. It's about time for you to realize how unhappy you make everyone around you. Is that... You mean you want me to leave Tony? I wish that all the time. Because you're a useless, disabled, defective person. There's no advantage for you to stay. Naomi, my back hurts. Go get the pills now. Karen, I can't visit you today. I have some things to do. There's nothing more important than me. Just come back ASAP. I just saw you recently. I can't go back. I'm sorry, I have an appointment. Don't you feel sorry for me? I can't walk. Now I have a disability like you. Why don't you understand how I feel? Of course I understand the pain of not being able to walk. But that doesn't mean people will do whatever you say. Right, since you have a congenital bad leg, you have no idea what it's like for me, a normal, healthy person who suddenly lost the ability to walk. What's more, I'm in a wheelchair and in the hospital. Even a lawyer came to see me. He wants me to pay for the repairs to the house I destroyed. Oh, well, you crashed your car into a house and caused the accident. Anyway, please talk to the insurance company about the money. I'm not in the mood for paperwork. I just misjudged the gas and the brakes. I didn't expect this to happen. But you're lucky you didn't get anyone involved. There's still a chance that your leg will be rehabilitated and you'll be able to walk again. You don't know when that will be. I had a trip with my friends next month. I can't even go on that trip. Poor me. If that's the case, then you just have to do your best in rehabilitation and get back on your feet as soon as possible. I don't mean to be harsh, but you caused this accident. I think you should be sorry for that. I told you I just made a mistake on driving. You have no right to scold me. If you had gotten someone involved, it would have been much worse. Shut up. I can't live like this anymore. I just want to go home. The food at the hospital tastes terrible, and they set bedtime. It's really uncomfortable. You're supposed to leave the hospital in 2 months, right? Yeah, that's right. I can't stay here that long. It's not like if I stay in the hospital, I'll be able to walk again. You know there are checkups and rehabilitation. Those are necessary for you to be discharged. Please hang in there. Oh, right. After I get out of the hospital, I've decided to move in with you and Tony to your house. Huh? Why are you surprised? I'm in a wheelchair. How can I live without someone to take care of me? It's possible to live alone in a wheelchair. Of course, I was gonna help you at first, but... Are you saying you don't want to live with me? Yes. I'm sorry, but I can't live with you. Why not? I'm Tony's only family. I'm his mother. I understand that. But he doesn't want to live with you either. You're lying. Tony would never refuse to live with me. I'm sorry to tell you this at a time like this, but I've been treated badly by you. Treated badly? I have no clue. You made fun of me because I'm disabled. And you kept abusing me. I was just telling the truth. Even so, there were a lot of problematic remarks. I was trying to have a good relationship with you as much as possible, and I wanted to be accepted, so I put up with it. But Tony told me that I didn't have to put up with it anymore. So what? That has nothing to do with me. I'm moving in. Otherwise, I can't live by myself. Please consider living in a residence with various kinds of support and assistance. We are not going to live together. Tony will reach out later, so please understand. Tony is a boy who will definitely help me if I'm in trouble. I'm not going to let a person like you, who popped into my son's life, beat me. No, it's not about winning or losing. It's already decided that he's going to live with me. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. And you're not nice to me, even though you're disabled? Who do you think you are? Oh, are you jealous that you're no longer the only one who Tony will care about? I don't think that way. Not even a little. Then don't do anything and just follow him. Don't do anything unnecessary. Hey, Naomi. You haven't come visit me for a week. As I told you the other day, I can't take care of you anymore. Is that how you're trying to avoid me moving in? Oh, you were still going to move in with us? My husband has explained to you many times that we can't, right? It doesn't matter. I'm his mother, and my opinion comes first. I see. But I really can't live with you. Even if you guys say you can't, I'm definitely moving in with you. I've already called the movers to move out. I'm planning to move sometime around the beginning of next month. Finally, it's time for you to be useful to me. You defective piece of shit. Aren't you glad to have a chance to be accepted by me? You've already called the movers? Oh, so you're coming overseas? Huh? Overseas? Yes. We've been living abroad for a week now. That's why I can't visit you. What? I didn't hear about that. Of course you didn't. We didn't tell you. Why overseas? Is it because of my son's work? Yes, so we can't go back to the States for a while. So it's physically impossible for us to live together. Why didn't you tell me something so important? Come back now. Because I didn't want you to interrupt our preparations for moving overseas. Besides, I wouldn't want you to come with us. What about me? How can I live when I get to the hospital? I don't know. You'll have to figure it out yourself. Oh, but in case you're wondering, I've put some vouchers of various facilities in the mailbox. It also includes information on places to find caregivers. Please take a look at them and decide for yourself. You're abandoning me? I'm going to live in a wheelchair. I know it was an unfortunate accident, but neither my husband nor I want to take care of a selfish person like you. Even though the accident was your fault, you still haven't apologized to the people whose house you crashed into, right? I'm paying for the repairs to the house. The house can be fixed, but I don't know if I'll ever get my leg back. I can't even think about other people. I can understand you. But please remember what you have said to me. We should be more modest, right? People with disabilities. I was a normal person that day. Plus, I don't have a disability. My leg might come back after rehabilitation. Then don't be so naive and live on your own. A normal person could do that, right? Things are different now. Don't you understand? I'm old, plus I'm in a wheelchair. You have no idea how heartbreaking it is to live alone. If you have the energy to talk like that, you'll be fine. And you really think I'm going to take care of you when I've been abused so much over my legs? Because you wanted to be accepted by me, didn't you? As I told you before, I don't have that feeling anymore. As long as I have my husband who understands me, I don't need anything else. Naomi, if you move in with me, I'll accept you as my son's wife. Now that I'm crippled, I understand how you feel. I won't act that way like I did before. Will you please think about it for a minute? No, I won't. I can live in a wheelchair overseas, can't I? I haven't heard from my son in days. So maybe you can tell him that I'd like him to let me come over there. No, I won't. I'm asking you this much. Can't you at least listen to me a little? You're the one who never listened to us before. Don't speak like that. Naomi, I'm sorry. I'll really change my attitude. Please. Please don't abandon me. You know, my husband has also said, you should live with a little more consideration for others. Don't expect everything to go the way you want. Nothing is going how I've expected. This is why I'm in this situation. What do I do? As long as you can think like that, we have nothing to discuss. Take care. Bye. Naomi, wait. Please tell my son how I feel. I'm really sorry. I'm also sorry I didn't listen to you guys. There's nothing I can do. There is. Tony cares about you. So if you forgive me, I'm sure Tony will too. Defective, disabled people shouldn't do anything. This is what you've told me, isn't it? I only follow my husband's opinion. So there's nothing I can do for you from now on. Karen called me many times after that, but I blocked her. And now I have no more stress. I was able to say everything I wanted to say in the end, so I no longer have any regrets. However, if she's going to be in a facility, she needs my husband's signature as a guarantor. We have asked her relatives to intervene and discussed about it. I feel sorry that I made them involved in the mess, but they seem to think that Karen had been very harsh on me for a long time, so they were willing to help me out. She ended up moving to a facility with caregivers and started living on her own. People around her seem to think that she deserves it, because she had been so cold to me. I've heard that almost no one comes to see her. She used to be very active, but she has become a homebody due to her inability to move around. It seems like she has lost her energy, as if she were a different person. What will happen to her is up to her. And it's none of my business to worry about anymore. I'm going to put her aside in my mind and enjoy my new life with my husband. And I will never forget to thank my husband and the people around me who have supported me throughout the years. I will continue to do what I can to make this happy life last as long as possible.